you have the instrument. We have, I believe it's 32 gigabyte, if I remember correct. But actually, the license is not allowing you to use the full capacity of the memory. So in the tender, you can just say comply because it consists this memory, but the actual amount that is being used is not the full SD card specification. So for that, you can basically, if it's a continuous recording, you can calculate the equivalent. And the equivalent, also we can write it in the tender as a note that even if you use 1 giga, this is equivalent to 1 tera, because we offer 1 to 1,000 compression ratio, basically. If you want to be on the safe side, you can take 10% less, but you know, 1 week, you can make the calculation. 1 week with 256 samples per cycle. Each sample is 3 bytes. You can make the calculation. If you want, I can make it for you. It will take me, but so we should save the time. You know how to calculate it, right? You want an example, Elon? If customer asks 1 week with 256 samples per cycle?
Yes, but okay, we will do it offline because actually,
So if we offer
5 minutes of your time after that.
If we offer 1 week with 256 samples per cycle, just take the 256, multiply by 3 bytes, then multiply by the number of cycles, 50, then 60 seconds, 60 minutes, 24 hours, and 7 days. You will get probably some giga, and this is after compression. So before compression, this is even multiplied. Sorry. So you understand. I believe you understand the concept.
Yeah, I understand it.
Okay. So we should not have any. I don't expect we should have a problem from the recording capabilities side, from the amount of memory, for the number of events records. These things we are very easily offering customers what they need and much more than they need. The problems are different usually. Okay, so let's move on.
It is almost like to try to compare ICE cars, combustion engine cars with electrical cars. Nothing to do when we are comparing our equipment with the competitors.
Yeah. So it's sometimes I see in tenders. I see in tenders things that you need to respond with comply or not comply, but the concept is different. So sometimes I put comply with a note or something. Yeah. Here, by the way, you can see.
Maybe with 16 gigabytes memory, they can only measure 1 week with their equipments, and with our 16 gigabytes memory, we can measure 1 year in a G4K. As an example, we cannot compare memory by memory.
Yeah. When you take compression or with that compression, and the competitors do not offer it, so we cannot compare it like apples and bananas.
Yes.
Okay, here you can see one of the cards is offering BNC for clamps, and then another channels, standard channels. Okay, let's go back to the presentation. Okay. So this is about the compression. This is also the same as the G4K. Maybe one thing I will say, you do not have here in the web interface an option to select between fixed quality and fixed ratio. We made our own investigations and we found out that fixed ratio is the only one we offer in this case. So customer only needs to configure how much memory to use in a monthly ratio. The default is 2048 megabyte So it's approximately 2 GB. It can increase the quality or decrease the quality from the web interface. And then I'm skipping some of the things. Okay. So what the DFR is offering, it also equipped with a PMU, phasor measurement unit, according the standard of the PMU. A PMU is an application typically used for smart grid applications. We see this enter more and more in the market. Some countries more, some countries less. So PMU is, when we talk about PMU, we talk about the real time. We do not talk about the PQZip. We offer this in high transmission rate of the reading of the phasors. And just to know, maybe I will not explain all the concept here of the PMU, but there are two common transmissions in PMU. One is M-type for measurement, and one is P-type for protection. The P-type for protection is naturally, of course, need to be very fast. So its filter is designed to be faster, but it is less accurate. And the M-type for measurement is more accurate, but it takes a little bit more. So it's not as fast as the P-type, because the P-type is for protection applications. Now, as far as I know, in the market, there is no instrument that can transmit both simultaneously, and our DFR can transmit both simultaneously. Now, usually customers who need a very good resolution for frequency readings, we can offer them this in the PMU, but as I said before, it's not registered into the PQZip file. The instrument, I think to say maybe is IC 61430 Class A. So Class A is very important, but the G4K, both fixed and portable, is certified per edition 2, which is an older one, and the DFR and Pure both are certified per the latest 3rd edition. This is, if customers will ask you, it's very, I would expect many customers to ask it, so it's equipped with the 3rd edition, the last one. Okay. So, as we said, the modular design, then 24-bit continuous acquisition, waveform acquisition at up to 1024 samples per cycle, centralized and decentralized architecture, scalable architecture, then supreme synchronization, less than, actually it's 150 microsecond on any channel. It's supporting different time synchronization. I didn't say about all, I said about the DSP sync, about GPS. It can go down to 350 nanoseconds, same as IRIG-B. Then also SMTP synchronization. It can also both a main one and the backend one for NTP server. Touchscreen, 4 USB ports, 2 SFP ports, 2 serial ports. The SCADA offer more than 10,000 parameters, 512 harmonics in case you use the 1024 samples per cycle. Those are the key features. It can be used with different web browsers and also smart devices, Android-based, iOS-based. Okay, this is the physical dimensions. This is different configurations you can use. זה גם קולומביה וזה לפחות עוד שעה.
לא, בסדר, רגע, תן לי להפריע לה.
אוקיי. אתה רוצה לדבר איתם? Guys, just a minute, Asaf want to tell you something. שומעים אותך, אתה רוצה וידאו גם? כי אני בשאר דסקטופ.
Yeah, put video. Hi guys, how are you?
Hi, Azaf. Fine.
All is well?
Oh, Ruko, I see you have a beard and mustache. I didn't see
I didn't see.
Since the COVID, he stopped shave.
Yeah, no, before that.
He
He was
doesn't have
born
the
with a
budget
mask.
for. He doesn't have a budget for the blades.
No.
Hugo and Elon, did you have the chance to visit the Hanover and schedule some meetings?
Not yet, because we bought the tickets today morning. We had a little issue in buying through the site. We will start in the end of this.
I make it
meeting.
short. We couldn't enter. We tried a different card, so eventually I paid with my personal card in order to make it. And I already asked for 2 meetings. And let's see. If you think that there is a specific one that we want to make it a priority, because there is, I think I found like 600 the match. Now I'm just trying to find the best one and try to connect.
Yeah, but we need to do it. We don't have too much time left for this event to happen. So you must sit today and start to schedule meetings. Otherwise, we will miss it.
Yes, I know, Azaf.
Okay. So Tomer, make it short today.
Okay.
Here we also have this tender with it. I think I need Tomer for that later.
Sorry, for what? For?
There is a tender in Croatia that this is why I asked you about the memory. This is why I think we can try to offer the same product just to limit it by software to 1 week. And
so it's a tender for DFR.
Yes.
It's a tender from a monitor solution with some tricks. They are asking for some things. I think I'm not sure. I ask also Hugo.
Okay.
There's one.
Take a look at it.
I suggest that
maybe
you...
we have Hugo and Elon. We have a DFR where we disable the functionality of the continuous waveform recording. So it works like any other power quality analyzer or digital font recorder in the market.
Okay,
so
good.
if we are pushed by the price, we can offer this product at a lower price.
What is the range?
We need to make sure that we can.
What is the range? What is the range of that price?
I don't remember by heart, but let's see first that we can comply to the tender specification.
Oh, we saw it. We saw it in the example. It can dramatically be, I think, 40% less. I saw 3,000.
Something like that, and I can give even a higher discount, just to open the doors.
Okay.
We can be very aggressive with the price with this product. Okay. Okay. Please update me about the meeting with Hanover. It's very important.
Okay.
See you. Bye.
Okay, guys. So just send me this if you need some advices about this tender. Just send me the tender. Okay, let's see. We've been here. Okay. Let's see some options for different type of cards. So take a look at the screen. I think you can just take a look and let me know if there's something you have question about. Can you see it well?
Yes.
Okay. So as you can see, you have different number of voltage or current. What is the peak for any one of those? What is the full scale? What is uncertainty? All of them are 0.1 because it's class A for the analogs. So you can see here many different options. Okay, Then for time synchronization, so we said this is actually 350 nanoseconds, not 0.5. Then you can see for SNTP, and then you can see for DSP synchronization, it's actually, I would take the safe side and say 150 nanoseconds. I explained you before the disadvantage of using the DSP synchronization. It's like a cascade, like a daisy chain. It must be physically one next to another. Okay. Okay, I think we should jump into, this is about the PMU. This is the standard. You can see the P class and the N class. What's the transmission rate? Okay, power uncertainty 0.2, like the G4K. The architecture is the same. So, but in this case, the PQ SCADA can get the files also by different protocols, not just by like G4K. So here you have other protocols you can use. Okay. Questions about the theory, about the products before I'm going to the web interface?
For me, it's clear.
No.
Okay. So let's go to the web interface of the instrument. This instrument uses the internal version, which is going to be released soon. So if you have your own instrument, probably you do not see exactly the same as I see here. So this is the login page under the overview. And you can see here the virtual channels. And let me explain what is the terminology of physical channel and virtual channel. The physical channel is what is the input, the direct input to the instrument on the card. So its reference will be the ground. For example, V1 in reference to ground, V2 in reference to ground, V3 in reference to ground, and Vn with reference to ground. Now, this can be one set, and the second set can be V1 tag, V2 tag, V3 tag, Vn tag, okay, against ground. I remind you, this the DFR equipped with is not just for measuring one feeder, it can measure a few feeders. So this is the physical channel, and then you have the virtual channel. The virtual channel is the calculated one. It's done on the software. So let's say the software see the physical measurements, and the software can show you, and this is what you see on this page, the virtual channels. For example, face-to-face channels, V12, V23, V31. For example, phase to neutral, V1N, V2N. Okay, so this is what is the virtual channels. Then on the right side, you can see some information about the instrument, mostly system related. So you can see status. There might be various types of status, such as recording, initializing, upgrade. There are different type of status. And you can see the database, the oldest and the newest. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. Then you see this is a new feature, SD news and S. Okay. In the next version that it will be released, we are going to implement, there are two SD slots in the device. Internally, if you remove the cover of the instrument, you will see two slots. So until now, only one of those was used. Now, from the coming version, both SD cards will be, you will be able to use both, but only one will be used for PQZip files. So it will make more room for PQZip files before doing FIFO or etc. Then you have PQZ. It shows you the compression ratio and the configured monthly ratio. This is the default 2048 megabyte. Okay, so the instrument is adjust the quality of the recording in order to be within the target of 2048 megabyte. You remember our first session, we talked about the PQ-zip compression?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Elon, you've been, you remember the first one, and Juan?
Yes, yes.
So, yes, so the fixed ratio, it means that the quality is not constant and the quality can be adjusted. And we are going to set only the usage of the memory. So this is the default, this is the only option with the DFR. Then we have the time synchronization. We can see the time source which is being used. As you can see, it's just moved from excellent to good. I will show you soon what exactly is the uncertainty for excellent, for moderate, for perfect, for good, for bad, each one what it means. Then we can see the frequency reading. Then we can see the firmware version and the software build and the MAC address and if there's any warning or errors. About warning or errors, on the front LCD and also on the left higher corner, you can see a yellow or red button. A yellow is a warning and the red is an error. So it will be shown in the information section and also in this yellow or red indication on the left higher part and also in the front LCD. This is about errors and warnings. Further information can be found in the log. And as you know, the log is also being registered into the PQ-zip file. So this is about the overview. The overview also offers you energy tab that you can get much energy information in 4 sub-chapters of energy for feeder total, for feeder phases, for network energy, and for system energy. You can see on the right side the settings, and this can be changed in the settings section. So this is the overview. Then you have the investigation. So here you can group by channels or parameters. Like this. And you can select different type, like trends, like events, like spectrum, PMU, and grid. You can also make an investigation, but the DFR save information for real-time query, if you will use here. Just remember the concept that if, for example, you will ask now for 2 hours, you cannot zoom into the beginning of that. It will not increase the resolution like the PQ-SCADA. But this is just using the summaries, which is a lower resolution information. And of course, if you will ask for 1 day, then it will be even a lower resolution. So you cannot go 23 hours back and ask for high resolution in this period. But yet it's much more than the G4K offer. Then you have the system. It's also information. You have various informative information in here. This is a little bit similar to the setting section, and the setting section is what we might need to focus more. Under the setting section, section, When you are going to install the instrument and set it up, so you will obviously need to do some configuration here. So the first page is the general. It's not necessary for the recording, but it's just some things that you can do if you would like to name the instrument, the site description, the operator name, and the company name. The site name is what you will see in the device search. Then very similar to the device info page in G4K web interface, you have some notifications for errors and warnings. And those will be indicated as red LED or yellow LED. Okay, it's not a hardware, it's not a physical LED, but that's the light you see on the upper corner on the left side and on the front screen. You can also reboot the system from here. Okay, so in case the device is not physically next to you, you can do a reboot from this page. Now, when you set up the instrument, the only thing that you must configure is the analog VI. And here you need to set the nominals and the physical channel where you set the CT ratio and the PT ratio. Okay. Then the virtual channels will be configured according the available physical channels. So as you can see, this equipment only has 8 inputs, 4 voltage and 4 currents. And the virtual, okay, we have it already set up. V1N is set as physical 5. Okay, this one, which is voltage, and this is V1 probably. Minus, you see, -1, physical 8, which is the neutral. Then physical 6 minus physical 8, then physical 7 minus physical 8, and the V neutral is only physical 8. Do you understand this? Or let me ask, is anybody of you guys do not understand the concept of configuring the phase to neutral?
Perfect.
I don't understand that.
Okay. Actually, Hugo and Paulo, I guess you know it. Juan and Delon, do you understand this?
I don't understand that, but maybe I need to take it offline because I think.
Okay, basically you have physical 1 is I1, I2, I3, I4, then V1, V2, V3, all of those are in reference to ground. But
Okay.
Customers would most likely do not use so much the phase to ground. They will need the actual used parameter, which is phase to neutral or phase to phase. And here you configure, for example, phase to neutral V2N will be physical. We have 5, 6, 7. This is V1 to ground, V2 to ground, and V3 to ground. So in this case, you take physical 6 minus physical 8, because physical 6 is V2, V3, and 8 is Vn.
So you make the calculation. You make
so the instrument show customer V2 in reference to neutral. So it's V2 minus V neutral. So you have a factor of 1 to physical 5, which is V2 to ground. And you have a factor of -1 to physical 8, which is neutral to ground. So basically the mathematical operation here is V2 ground minus Vn ground. So this will form V2n. If I would like V23 phase to phase, I will change this to physical 7. Okay?
Okay.
5, 6, 7. So 7 is a 3 to ground. Okay. I think the concept is clear, but need just to understand what exactly is each channel, and then you will be able to understand it. So we can have up to 16 physical channels and up to 32 virtual channels. Then you set the feeders, which is I1, I2, I3, I4. I can add additional channel, for example, leakage. So leakage will obviously be all the current, the sum of all the currents according to Kirchhoff. So physical 1 plus physical 2 plus physical 3 plus physical 4. Okay, so physical 1, physical 2, physical 3, physical 4, actually reversed. So it all will be -1. Do you understand why this is the calculation of the leakage?
Yes, perfect.
Flow? Okay. Now, actually, this is not an instrument on my desk. This is it might be an instrument that is being used in production or so. So I will not apply. Now you can add another feeder that will be delta, for example. So there might be a few feeders defined for this instrument. Questions about how to set physical and virtual channels?
No.
This is the only need you must define when you are setting up the instrument for recording. You know, the time synchronization is not necessary, is not a must. PQ recording, just enable, disable. And now the rest is not a must in order to have the channels recorded. But of course, if you need to set GPS source, you can set here and select one of the sources. Okay. For self, you will need to define the instrument time and UTC offset. Daylight saving, you can enable or disable. This setting is for PTP for IEEE 1588 protocol. Is another time synchronization. This is for NTP synchronization. For GPS and IRIG-B and DSP sync, you have nothing to configure. It's just it needs to sense the signal. So you just need to connect the cable and to select the DSP, GPS, or IRIG-B. Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. Next one here, you can set the monthly ratio and to enable disable recording. Then you can set events. So you can add a new event or add a new aggregated event or a new custom event. Let me just show you maybe one example with deep. All of the rest are pretty much the same. So you can name it. You can enable or disable it. You can choose the channel it will be based on. The reference can be nominal or USR. USR is the average nominal calculated. Sorry, I don't remember from the last few cycles. I don't remember how many cycles, but this is the actual nominal and not the configured nominal. But if I select, for example, the configured nominal, let's say this is 230, then the 10% drop will be, it will trigger the dip event, will start it when the voltage is in 207 volts. So 230 minus 23. So it's exactly 10% drop. Hysteresis is the deactivation. So in this case, the hysteresis, the deactivation will be when the signal is back to 92% or more. Cancellation is 3%. So if the signal dropped by 97% or more, then it's not a dip. It's a different class of event. So it will not be registered. Then we have the minimum duration of half cycle and the maximum duration of 60 seconds. You can change this. Okay, you can set notifications for specific user. Okay, you can also set the users. This is one of the next tabs we're going to discuss. Okay, so this is deep. The others are pretty similar. I don't see any reason to go over all of those. Then we have a new aggregated event, so we can make a combination between two or more events with some logical gate between, not or normal. So this we can do by drag and drop, and we can aggregate between up to 4 such events. So then the next one is to a new custom event, and here the difference is that you can select the parameter, different parameters, not just voltage related like we've done before, but also other parameters. You can select from many parameters, even a temperature and power factor, THD, and for any of one of those, you have many different phases. And for those, probably, no, I don't see a base, but any one of those consists many options. Okay, can be percentage or deviation or cons, can be less, more, greater than, between, or equal for different parameters. Okay, so this is the events. Any questions about the events? Okay, the next tab is PMU. And just PMU, so you will know this is a license feature. Actually, most clients and customers do not have this enabled, so this page will not be available for those users. The specific customer who use PMU, the person who defined PMU will probably know better than you or me how exactly to enable, how exactly to configure. And this is mainly the configuration of the PMU, how to transmit it, in which protocol, exactly what is the IP of the client. So some client configurations for streaming, okay? Usually there will be only one stream, not both of them. This is a P class or a M class. So the person who usually work more on that in Elspec is Owen. Actually, the other people in R&D are not, but this is specifically for PMU use, and most clients do not use it. If you have client who use it, just let me know, and we will comment for this specific customer. But all of this is configuration to the client. There is, I think it's called PDC. That's a client you can install online. PDC contractor or something like that. Okay, so this is the PMU. Then the protocols. So this is configuration for the communication protocol for the IC61850. If you are using MMS or sample value, so then you should load the template of the site, the ICD and the CID files. This is site specific. It's just the site definitions of all of the clients and the users. Then you have settings for DNP3 communication protocol and for Modbus.
As a fun question regarding the SID file, what consists the SID file? What is inside the SID file? Because we can download it from the DFR or we can upload it. What parameters or what have inside that file?
If I remember correct, and when I was dealing with it, very few, it was maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I think one file is like a map. It's like a map of the site with all of the all of the components that involved in this that can talk this protocol. So it's a site specific. And the CID, I believe it's from the DFR, and that's probably some kind of mapping of each parameter or each value that is going to be read or transmit. So
Okay.
it's some kind of translation map.
Okay.
Okay. In case you need further guidance about that, I can ask from the specific person in R&D about this. But as you understand, IC 61850 and PMU is very specifically for a specific person that deal with that on the customer side. Okay, then we have the users. And here you can define the different users. We are now logged in as admin, as user 0, but there's other possible users. You can set a different password for each one of those and a different email for each one of those, because it will get a notification from the system as configured. So only the user, there's one admin that can set anything that will be allowed or not allowed for the other users. So to edit permissions, you can add permission per interface, like FTP, PQZ, web, etc. To add specific write permission, not all, but specific tabs, like only to set enable, disable recording and not to configure, or others. Read permissions and system permissions. Then you have to edit notifications. So to get notification about different occurrence of things in the system. So you can set this as well. Okay, then you have the network, and this is to set among things the front port and the two back SFP ports. Yeah. The question? Juan?
No.
Okay, not question. Okay, so here we can set the network configuration, and we can set enable or disable DHCP to define if it's a disabled DHCP, then we can write a new IP and subnet and gateway for the three optional ports. I requested R&D to change this terminology, and instead of USB, it's confusing to use front port. And we also have SMTP synchronization configuration. So this, the customer IT department will probably set here the username, password, domain for their email server, in case they would like the instrument to transmit or send emails. Okay. So this is about the network. Then only if you have auxiliary card, in case there is such in the license and by hardware, you can configure here the auxiliary card. So the digital in, digital out, analog in, analog out, or relays. For example, for analog out, you can set the if it's for example, a 6 to 20 milliampere sensor, you can define what is the 6 ampere and what is the 20 ampere. For example, if you measure temperature, you can set a 0 from 4 milliampere, and the 20 milliampere, which is the maximum, will be, for example, 100 Celsius, 0 to 100. Or if it's pressure, or if it's any other parameter. For the digital out and relays, you can also do it like in the G4K for energy pulses and for event base. So there will be a relay or digital out, for example, when there is a dip, like power quality event, or when there is a system-related event. You can also do it for the to trigger a relay or digital out based on one of those set system-based notifications or any other type of event, like custom event, for example. Okay. Then we have the energy, and here you can set what is the energy interval and sub-interval, and you can also reset energy counters. Just to remind you, with PQ SCADA Sapphire, if you would like to export energy by 5 minutes and the instrument was set to 30 minutes, you will not be capable to do it on the SCADA. Because so then I believe it's always better to have the lowest possible, at least, at least intervals, like 1 minute. Okay, so let's now talk. There is going to be a new version release with the touch screen. So let's go over about this. You still do not have it with your instruments in case you have the instruments in your hands. But the touch screen is available, as I said before, in DFR units produced from 2017. Actually, it's 2016, somewhere in 2016, but it's better, to tell customers. If you talk with customer, tell them 2017. To be on the safe side. And also it needs to have 7-inch LCD screens. The first hardware revision we released to the market, there were also 5-inch. So in those, there will be no touchscreen feature. So it's available from firmware version 1.1.0.1.1, let's say, and any 0.0. And higher. In the screen, you will see, you can see it here, but you can see it also later. And this is the slip. So here you can see on the front port, on the front side, you can see the home button. This is in case you want to get to home at any point. You can just click on it and get to this page. Then you have the time of the unit, the local time, the firmware version, the serial number, and the name as defined in the web interface of the unit. You also have on the left side the status indication. You remember we said the yellow or red button, so it's always shown in the front LCD. There are 3 possible statuses, but for most of the things, there's green for OK, orange for warning, and red for error. Further information is available in the device web user interface. So if you want further information, you can go to investigation. And you can select events. And to see all of the events. And you can, by the way, filter here for only system related or for only power quality, etc. etc. You can see here the name, classification of the event, which phase, if it's a power quality. In this case, it's system, so it's not related. Severity, start, end time, duration, and value. Okay. If you do not have the touch screen, you will have only one page, which is shown on the front touch screen. And this is the overview page. Okay. So in case you do not have the touch screen available, you will have only the overview page. which is the one when you click on this one. This is also the only page that does not require to type the credentials. And in this page, what you can see is some system statuses and some information about each one of the channels on the back slot. I will get to this soon. Okay. So this is the only page if your instrument does not support touchscreen. In case you do not use the touchscreen, the default is 5 minutes, but this can be configured. The screen will turn into sleep mode. Okay. If you want to change this, you can change the 5 minutes to different duration in the web user interface under settings and general. When it turns into sleep mode, the screen will offer you 3 indications by default, but not yet, but soon in one of the coming versions, there will be additional 5 custom indications. So the user, in addition to those 3, the user will be able to add additional 5 custom indications. So the default one is, the first is the general status, offer 3 possible status, green for OK, orange for system-related warnings, and red for system-related errors. Okay, just to remind you, we are talking about those as configured, those errors and those warnings. Okay, warnings in yellow and errors in red. Further information is either in overview module or just to open the log. For example, this yellow, you can see here, there is an error with the IC61850 in this case. So IC61850, most instrument does not has it on the license, but in case customer specifically need it, so it's available in the unit. This is a license feature. Okay. Second indication is the recording. Green for PQZ recording on, and red for PQZ recording off. Then we have time sync. As I promised before, this is the different levels. So as you can see, we have 7 levels and also a no synchronization indication. No synchronization, there's no external source, but there is internal clock. The internal clock used 10 ppm. 10 ppm, that would be probably if for 24 hours there is no synchronization, then there will be some uncertainty, not 800 milliseconds, but in worst case, it will be 800 milliseconds. You cannot know exactly how much is the drift, but it will not be more than that. It will be lower than 800 milliseconds over 24 hours. Now, as for external synchronization, we have the level of perfect, which is lower than 1 microsecond. Then we have excellent, lower than 10 microsecond, good, lower than 100 microsecond, fine, lower than 1 millisecond, moderate is lower than 10 milliseconds, poor is less than 1 second, and bad, this is more than 1 second. Yet it can detect some kind of source. Let's say there is a GPS with a very bad sky view, for example, very stormy or sky is very cloudy, might be, for example. As I said also, we will also implement an option to add additional 5 custom indications. Okay, let's talk about the screens we have. If we click with our finger on the upper left one, we will be addressed to the overview page. And the overview, as I said before, is the only page available for non-touchscreen supporting instruments. This overview page does not require credentials, but all the other pages require credentials. The overview page offers us the status. Okay, this is the same you see in the web interface. It can be upgraded, it can be initialized, it can be recording. Then we have oldest and newest data. Then we have the time source, which time source being used, GPS, SMTP, IRIG-B, etc. Then time quality, exactly as I said before. And then frequency, and this frequency here, this is a 10/12 cycles parameter. Okay, so it's calculated, we have a new value every 200 milliseconds. And the firmware version. Now, guys, you are very quiet. Can you let me know if you have questions?
No.
No, it's okay.
Okay. Monitoring page. So in this page, we have 5 options. By the way, I made this document on Sunday, and already on Monday, they told me that the feeder, this one, moved to the right side. So today it looks a little bit different. When it will be released, the feeder will be on the right side. I didn't change the document for that, but this document might get changed a little bit soon. So we can select one of those. And now feeder selection, you just select if in case there is more than one feeder. Just to remind you, what is a feeder? A DFR can monitor, not like the G4K, it can monitor a few feeders. One can be Y topology, another one can be delta topology, etc., etc. So you can select which feeder you would like to monitor. The column is always RMS and THD, but the rows is per the feeder.
Yeah.
So you can see RMS and THD data. Phase angle diagram. So you cannot see it here, and it's not yet in the version, but we will release it to customers like G4K, that V1 is the reference. So V1 will always be 0, and V2 and V3 will be in reference to V1. Phase angle diagram, to view the phase angle and amplitude. Their normalize option, we have a normalize option, will change values to percentages as a reference to the configured nominal.
This interface is very similar to the app, right?
To the application, yeah. It provides a few,
similarities.
And the application is more used with the Pure. I'm not sure how many with the DFR, but I think now it will. People will less use the application probably.
Yeah.
Then we have another option for Spectrum to view the harmonics. Just note this is only up to the 25th as bars, so it's not even like the compliance. But you know, we have even up to the 511th harmonic with the PQ-ZIP if the instrument license allow this. So the front LCD only provides basic information. Use the remove this or remove fundament. Sorry?
You cannot scroll right. Slide.
No.
You cannot slide the harmonics.
No, only 25. But a very useful option is this checkbox of remove fundamental and remove DC.
Yeah.
As you can see, second, third, fourth, fifth harmonic are very, very tiny. It's difficult to see those, but if you remove fundamental, you will get a very clear view of the other harmonics.
Okay.
Okay. Then the last one, we have the waveform. So it shows you the waveform for voltage and current. I think this shows you, I believe, no, I don't remember how many points, but you can see a few cycles here. Then the next one, that's the The third one, the upper from the right, is the events. And when you open the event page, you will see the upper row with a few possibilities on the left and a few on the right. The right side offers the user the page number and also to switch between pages or refresh the page up and down. Okay, this is not automatically refreshed. Then the right side, the left side, the user can select to show specific event type as follows: by system events, by power quality events, to see dips, frequency events, harmonic, flicker, etc. And also then, but I'm sorry, in the document I didn't have the equipment with such a card. But this is how you will see it. If there will be cards, you will see probably a few events. For digital in-out, that's the third option. And the fourth option for analog I/O events. This is the event option. The next option is the energy is not yet implemented. It will be implemented, not in the coming version, but probably within one of the next few versions. And we have the configuration page. For configuration page, we have three options. The first one is PQZ recording is very easy. This is only for license with continuous recording to allow you to select enable or disable recording from the front screen. Okay. Then the second one is the time synchronization. Allows you to select the source. And if you use the self to set the time region, it's not so convenient to use the time to set the time here, but okay, we'll think about how to make it more easier, friendly. In case SMTP server is used, the server IP main server and additional backup source, alternate one, if such is available, can be configured on this page.
One question. Without the compression, because I heard Asaf telling about that we will have an option for the PVB and also for the DFR without the compression. Without the compression, the sample.
I'm not sure the pure BB offer it, but the DFR, yes.
I think in the future, in June or.
Okay.
I think a new product will offer that option. Without the compression, what are the advantages of that without compression? I know some advantages of that, but what is the application? Is to record, let's say, real waveform or real parameters without compressing it? Is the case?
Okay. That's basically what our competitors offer, because they do not have the compression. We will still have compression in this case, but the customer will be limited, and that means that there will be no continuous recording. Only when the instrument will detect the start of the event, it will immediately start recording. I'm not sure. Sorry?
Can we start recording without any event? Start putting the equipment to record, and if let's say I want to measure something, I put the equipment to record without any event to trigger that.
The instrument needs to know what is an event. There is a configuration need to be done. It can be the default one, but the instrument will start recording everything, include the waveform, but only for this period of event. So you will be limited about the pre-trigger and about the post-trigger for any investigation needed. So you cannot see what's happened before the event or what's the reason for the event. The license will include the amount of events that the instrument can store on board.
But my question was, if I want to record everything, I put the equipment to record everything, and it's a FIFO, they will overwrite the last measurements. Can it be done, or you don't think
Sorry,
so?
again? Sorry?
Since the memory is FIFO, what I thought it was, if we put the equipment to record, the equipment will record everything and then overwrite the memory. Let's say
No,
one
I
day.
don't think so. I don't think it will record everything. I think it will store maybe even the file name will not be PQZ, it will be EPQZ, I think, but I need to verify it for every event. That's how it should work. So you will not have a continuous recording, PQZ recording.
But
So
you have compression. But you have compression. The same.
Yeah, the instrument is capable to do it, but we are offering this, you know, I mean, if the customer has this instrument, he can we can send him, if you want to upgrade, we can send him a license with that enable the continuous recording, but this is a different pricing. It's just a different pricing and offering a limited recording of that it's recording only the events. Yeah, there is a license for the equipment and license for the software. So now we are talking about a license for the equipment. It's not about the G4K, and it's only for the DFR. The DFR has a license, and the license enables the sampling rate, enable the period of recording. If you change the hardware, for example, replacing from 8 voltage card on the back slot, remove it and put another card, then the instrument will detect this change and it will give you an error, license invalid. You will need to get from us a new license. So the license include details for the hardware, but also define the features such as the sampling rate, the recording continuously or not continuously, the PMU if it's enabled or disabled, IC61850, etc. So all of the features. Yeah. Now. No, first of all, you need to get from us the license key. You can do it from the device web interface to put the license key. Then it will generate a request. And this request file, you can upload it to us. You can find a place to upload it in the in Elspec website. If I go here, you have it in the manual, a link. When you upload it, immediately you will download your server, you will have on your server the response file. And this response file you can use for the DFR. Okay? So it's uploading a license take 2 steps. The first step is the device and your computer to generate a request. Then if you have internet connection, you log to our website, you drag and drop the file, the request file, and immediately a response file will be generated on your server. It will download it to your server. Then you go back to the instrument and you use this response file. Okay, perfect. No, the In the instrument, you must have a license. Again, this is only about the G5 DFR. This is the only instrument that require a license. Yeah. And you have also the license for the software. The software can be used without license, but only with the features of the Express. And the DFR cannot be used without license. Yeah. Okay, let's move on. Hugo, is it okay? Your question from before?
Yes, I thought maybe without the continuous recording we left also the compression, because one of the things that I would like to see in our equipment is the possibility of not having the compression. During a certain time.
When you have events, only you still have real-time information, and you can still, I think, can do investigations in the device web user interface, but this is not providing exactly the same capabilities as the PQ SCADA. So you can do investigation of even 2 hours back or maybe 1 day back in the DFR web interface, but it's not, it's very basic.
But Tomer, in the web interface of the DFR, the information that we get there are also from the compressed or before the compression?
No, this is summaries.
Summaries?
Yeah, it's not compressed data. Summaries can be, for example, if I will look now, I don't want too much to get into that, but if I will now, I have my screen, I'm limited, let's say to 1000 pixels.
Yes.
And I will ask here for online 1 day. Okay, so it will not show me cycle by cycle because I do not have 1 million of points. Maybe it will show me 1 minute. Every pixel will show me 1 minute. So you see, this is limited, and I cannot zoom into 8 until 8 and 10 minutes.
Yes, I understand.
If I take longer period, yeah, this is some kind of summaries that it's stored on board. Okay. So we talked about the configuration here. So we have the time sync configuration, and then we have the network. So we can set from the setting button for each one of the 3 interfaces, we can set each one of those, the IP address, subnet, and all of the network configurations. That's about the new firmware touchscreen. In addition, in the new firmware, as I explained before, we will have the 2 SD cards implemented. Then in the next firmware version, we will also have okay, this is the main things we will have in the next version. There's additional few minor changes that, and of course, bug fixes. But bug fixes, there's no reason to talk about that. That's more about the new features. When it will be released, you will see it, the release note in our website. You will be able to see also a few minor changes in the new DFR. About the software, the PQ SCADA, I have not much to say about the software side, because this is very similar to having a component of G4K, of Pure, all of them. The working with the software is similar. There will be also a new option, by the way, in the new firmware, is to load configuration. Okay, so to use the task of the PQ SCADA to load configuration if you have now 20 instruments. So instead of going and configuring it one by one, you can do one task for all 20 units and load the configuration, for example, CT ratio, PT ratio, etc. That's all about the DFR. Any questions?
No,
Okay.
Tomer.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, so we have a few sessions. I believe we covered 95% of the information. We went over the G4K, both fixed and portable. Then also its advanced features we went over last time. We went over the DFR, and we went over the Pico SCADA really into details. The only thing we did not discuss is the pure black box. Now, the pure black box has no web interface. And also it has application which I cannot share by my desktop. So for the pure black box, I always have some difficulties to talk about it in a webinar. But we can do a short webinars about that, just to explain the benefits and what exactly it do. It's very simple. What do I say?
Tomer.
Yeah.
Tomer, we have a video, as you know. We created a video that explain everything regarding the pure. So.
In Elspec Portugal, you made a video about this?
No, we and Asaf the promotion video. I'm talking about the promotional video.
Okay.
Explain everything about.
What's the duration of the pure black box the video?
You didn't saw it. You didn't saw it.
I saw. I think you are talking about a very short one, no?
Yes, the new video for the pure VV.
Okay. Actually, I'm familiar with it, so I'm not sure which one of those. Yeah, but okay, maybe you can share it in an email for all of us with the participants, and we will come together if there is a need for a for additional webinar or not. If also one of you guys would like to discuss a specific topic, you can put it for the distribution list of all of the people here, and if other participants think this topic should be discussed, so we can do a webinar. So I think for the moment, let's not schedule another webinar. And within the next 1 or 2 weeks, let me know if you think there is a need for additional one.
Okay.
Tomer, I need a few minutes of your time.
Okay, this is Elon, right? I will stop sharing my. Okay. Actually, Elon, I'm pretty have a problem with the time. I need to be in another place.
I see.
Let's do really 2 and 3 or 3 minutes. If we need more, we will continue tomorrow.
I don't think we need more. I need more.
Okay, perfect. So guys, if there's no question, so we can finish here, and I will stay with Elon.
Okay. The video, Tomer, that I was talking about is this one. I just share the screen.
Maybe you can put the link in the chat, Max. Okay.
Can you see?
Okay, yeah, I can see it.
Do you know this video or not?
Can you start it? It's a new one. I think I've seen it also on. It's also published on Elspec Facebook, right?
Yes,
I think so.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So maybe you can see it in Elspec Facebook page. Take a look. I can see it's about 2 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah, and if there's a need, you can later. The software is exactly the same, and for the pure black box, there is no web interface. Yeah.
Explain the capabilities. It's perfect because
just give me 2 minutes to steal from Tomer. I know it's becoming late.
Okay. Bye.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tomer, for this.
Thank you.
Bye.
Ken.
Yes. You mean yes?
Sorry. Okay, guys. So I will stay with Elon here.
Okay. Bye. Bye, Tom.
Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys. Tomer. Tomer.
Tom can ask if he can send you an email.
You're going to send me an email? I see the tender.
No. I'm saying that Juan just told you that he want to send you an email question.
Okay. Just, I'm sorry, I will leave office in less than 5 minutes, so I will answer this tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, Juan,
Tomer.
thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Tomer,
Yes.
I have only a question.
Okay.
I did the measure